Hey guys, welcome to my channel Easy Economics 67. Currently we are studying the chapter Utility Analysis. So today we'll learn about relationship between total utility and marginal utility, that is TU and MU. Let us start with the meanings of TU and MU here. Now first point, total utility. You will start the answer with the meanings and then afterwards, we'll establish the relationship between TU and MU. So let us start our answer. First will be meaning. First meaning, total utility, TU. Now, as the name itself suggests, total, all of us know from our childhood we know about total. Total means when we add on something, we go on adding something, then we derive at the total. We do the summation and then we arrive at the total. So same meaning here. What is total utility? I have clearly written everything on the board. So please take a screenshot of the board and watch it carefully. Total satisfaction obtained from consuming all the units of a commodity is called as total utility. So whatever given number of units of a commodity are given to us, when we consume that commodity and we consume all the units of that commodity, then we will add up all the satisfaction and then we arrive at the total satisfaction. In my last lecture, I have explained clearly the concepts of total utility and marginal utility. If there is any confusion, you may go and see that lecture. So this is the total utility. Now what is commodity? Here you may consider any commodity. Let us say you are consuming oranges or you are consuming mangoes or maybe you are drinking glass of water. So likewise any commodity of your choice you may consider. So I repeat, total satisfaction obtained from consuming all the units of a commodity is called as total utility, that is TU. Now coming to the second part, marginal utility, which is denoted as MU. Now the word marginal means additional. So very simple meaning here. Marginal means additional. So additional satisfaction obtained by the consumption of one more unit of a commodity is called as marginal utility. That means let us assume, suppose you drank one glass of water, then again you drank another glass of water, then whatever satisfaction you are gaining from that second glass of water, that particular unit of a commodity, that is called as marginal utility. Marginal means additional. What is the addition made to the utility by consuming one more unit? That additional amount is called as marginal utility. Formula is also written on the board. MUN, N means number of unit, is equal to TUN, total utility of number of unit, minus TUN minus 1. N minus 1 means earlier unit. Supposing now you are consuming the third unit, then total utility of third unit minus total utility of 2 units. Thereby you will arrive at the marginal utility. That means utility of the just now consumed commodity. Now let us make this concept very clear with the help of schedule, diagram and highlights. So let us move on to schedule or table. I have written it clearly on the board. For the better understanding, I have taken 7 units so that everything is clear to you. So number of units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as it is written in the table. Then we have made 2 more columns, that is TU and MU, because we are establishing relationship between TU and MU, total utility and marginal utility. Now as the consumer consumes first unit of a commodity, let us assume his TU is 10. He got 10 units of utility from that commodity. So number of units 1, first unit, TU is 10. Here MU is also 10. Now there might be a doubt in the minds of some of the students, why MU is also 10. Let me clarify that. Now since you are consuming only first unit, this is your very first unit of consumption, Let us assume you are consuming oranges or mango. Then this is your first orange or this is your first mango, or let us say this is your first glass of water. Then TU from that glass of water is 10. TU from that orange is 10. Since it is the first unit, you earlier did not consume anything. So that's why addition made to the total utility is also 10. Total utility is 10, and since it is the first unit, marginal utility, that is additional utility, is also 10, because prior to the first unit, there was 0 unit of consumption. So there was no TU, so we can't find MU, nothing. Hence, at the first unit, whatever is the TU, total utility, the same will be your marginal utility, because that is the very first unit of consumption. So that unit itself becomes the last unit there. And hence the marginal utility is 10. So you write 10 in TU, 10 in MU. As we proceed with the consumption, with the second unit of consumption, our TU will increase, because when we had only one unit it was 10. Now as we consume the second unit, our TU, let us assume, became 18. So from 10 it becomes 18. That means addition of 8 units in the total utility. So what is this addition? This addition is nothing but we call it marginal utility. That's why in the MU column we have written 8. Now let us move to third unit. Now TU became 24. Earlier the TU was 18. Please look at the table carefully. Now after the consumption of third unit, our TU is becoming 24. That means there is addition of 6 unit. I hope you are getting. I am doing here 24 minus 18. Earlier unit wala TU minus karna hai. Then you are getting MU of 6 units. The same procedure continues. We are assuming with the fourth unit consumption, TU becomes 28, so MU becomes 4. As we proceed with the consumption, with the fifth unit of consumption, our TU becomes 30, so MU is becoming 2. 30 minus 28, it's 2. Now, as we go on consuming like this, see, there arises a point for any consumer, any common consumer, any rational consumer, when we keep on consuming units of the same commodity, so slowly we move towards satisfaction. We feel that now it's okay, now I don't want any more units of the commodity. So that point we are reaching when we consume the unit number 6. At that time TU remains constant. Earlier also our total utility was 30 while we consume the fifth unit. Now after consuming the sixth unit also our total utility is remaining same, that is 30. So 30 minus the earlier wala 30, our marginal utility is 0. That means when we consume fifth unit, that time also total utility was 30. After consuming this sixth unit also total utility is 30. So there is no addition in the total utility. Our total utility is remaining constant. It is remaining as it is. Addition made is 0. That's why in the marginal utility column, that is additional utility column, it's 0. Now this point especially I have highlighted, I have marked it with the red pen, because there we get our point of satiety, which will be further more clear with the help of diagram, which is also there on the board. So let us finish the table first. Now coming to the seventh unit, now any rational consumer, any common consumer should actually stop his consumption after gaining this point of satiety, that is point of maximum satisfaction, which in our case, in our example, we are arriving after consuming unit number 6, sixth unit. But still, if any consumer by chance continues with the consumption, he consumes the seventh unit also, or somebody forces him to continue with the consumption, and somebody offers him forcibly that okay, no, please consume one more unit, like that somebody tell him, and if he continues with the consumption, then he will certainly experience fall in the total utility. His total utility will decrease as shown in the table. So from 30 it has become 28 now. Why this happens? Because his want is satisfied, his need is satisfied, and still he is consuming. So that consumption will give him discomfort. He won't be much comfortable. He might feel uncomfortable after consuming that, depending on the commodity what he is consuming. So there his total utility is actually decreasing. So he experiences negative utility. I have shown on the board it is -2 because earlier his TU was 30, now it has fallen to 28. So there is -2, additional benefit has decreased by 2. So this -2 is called as negative utility, or we may also call it as disutility. So this is the table in which we have explained everything. Now same thing we are plotting on the diagram. See, many students are afraid of diagram. Don't worry, it's very simple diagram. Look at the diagram. Focus on the diagram now and I am explaining you. See here what we have drawn is we have taken the number of units on the horizontal line, that is x-axis, as I have shown. We have taken total utility and marginal utility, TU and MU, on the y-axis. So same thing you will explain in the diagram. There is nothing special while explaining the diagram. Whatever we are doing, we are exactly explaining that in our own words. So never bother about the diagram explanation and never worry about it. You just write what you are doing, that's it. So on the x-axis, number of units are mentioned. On the y-axis, we have written total utility and marginal utility. I have plotted the points taking a gap of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. And downwards, since we are having negative utility also, that's why I have shown one minus point downward also, that is -4. So I will explain the TU curve first. While consuming the first unit of commodity, now this point which we are plotting, that we are getting from our table. Looking at the table, we will plot the points. At the first unit, TU is 10. So corresponding to the first unit, I have plotted my first point at 10, second point at 18, third point at 24. Looking at the x-axis and y-axis, I hope you know this, how to plot these points. Fifth point at 30, and see there is a horizontal line because fifth point also 30 unit of satisfaction, and at the sixth unit of consumption also 30 unit of satisfaction. So there is bit of horizontal line there, 30 30 on the same line while consuming fifth and sixth unit. And afterwards, while consuming the seventh unit, TU falls by 2. So my last point is at 28. So there is a slight fall in the TU curve. Now this was the TU curve. This is how you draw the TU curve. Now let us move to the MU curve. Now while plotting MU curve, as you can see it in the diagram, my MU curve is downwards. So first unit, I look at the MU column now. First unit MU 10, second MU 8, I am plotting accordingly. Third point, I have plotted 6. Fourth point, I have plotted 4. Fifth point, I have plotted 2, and at the sixth point it's 0, and since it is 0, the point is falling on the x-axis itself, which is 0. It is denoting 0. And after that, when the consumer consumes the seventh unit, there is -2 utility. So this MU curve will fall downwards, cutting the x-axis, which is shown by the shaded area by me. So at the seventh unit consumption, there is -2, disutility of -2, or negative utility of -2, which is shown by the shaded portion in the diagram. Now I have drawn a vertical dotted line to show this point of satiety, and on the TU curve I have shown the arrow. With the help of arrow, I have shown the point of satiety. Now what is this point of satiety? Point of satiety represents the point of maximum satisfaction at which the rational consumer should stop his consumption so that he will get maximum satisfaction from his consumption of a commodity. That is shown, that is denoted with the help of point of satiety clearly in our diagram. You should also draw it like this only. Just practice this question once or twice, you will come to know. and whatever we are drawing, same thing we have to explain below the diagram. Once again, I'll tell you, don't worry. Now one more short table I have drawn, which is I have given the heading highlights of the answer. This is for your understanding. In exam, no need to write this way. We'll explain it in the words in the sentences. Highlights of the answer. See, I have explained the relationship of TU, MU in short. TU, the relationship can be explained in four stages. First stage, TU, MU same same. TU, MU same same. That is 10 10. At the very first unit consumption, both are same. As we go on consuming more, second stage is TU goes on increasing, MU falls. As we may see in the table from point number unit number 2 to 5, that TU goes on increasing and MU falls. It is clear in the table. Now third is the stage is point of satiety, that is the consumption of unit number 6, where TU remains constant, so that is the highest point of satiety, and MU becomes 0, that is called point of satiety. And the fourth stage is if any consumer continues the consumption further, then the TU falls and MU enters into negative zone, which is also known as disutility. So with the help of these highlights, you will elaborate the answer, you will explain the answer in the wordings. So explanation of the diagram will be like this. Point number 1, we have shown the number of units on the x-axis, change paragraph. We have shown the TU and MU, total utility, and MU on the y-axis. Then again, third point, in the initial stage, at the starting, TU and MU are same as in the highlights I have shown. Again change the line. Afterwards, TU go on increasing and MU starts falling. Then there is a point of satiety at which consumer experiences maximum amount of satisfaction and MU becomes 0. Then change your paragraph. If any consumer continues the consumption, then he will experience negative utility or disutility and TU starts falling. So that's it, your explanation to explain the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. I hope this helps. So just go through the lecture, watch the board carefully so that you will understand whatever I have explained. If you like this lecture, if you have understood this, please let me know. Do like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.